In the moments where you can't control what's about to happen, you're getting anxious for a reason. You're doing it because your brain interprets it as keeping you safe. Anxiety is your brain's protection signal. Its job is simple, to predict danger before it happens. But when prediction turns into constant anticipation, the signal doesn't switch off. You stop feeling safe, even when nothing's actually wrong. Not because you're weak, because your brain has become overprotective. That's a biological fact. Today, we look at 5 specific ways your brain is running that protection signal, which makes you anxious, and how to override each one. The anxiety response begins in your amygdala. It doesn't understand time. It doesn't understand probability. It only understands one question. Is this uncertain? And the moment it detects uncertainty, or even the possibility of emotional pain, it sends signals through your body. Your brain can trigger the anxiety response extremely fast, often before you become consciously aware of what caused it. So you don't experience the process. You experience the result. Tight chest, faster breathing, racing thoughts. These are survival responses. By the time you notice it, it's already happening. And because you missed the beginning, it feels like it came out of nowhere. They helped humans react quickly to real danger. But here's the shift. Today, the same response activates for imagined outcomes. Situations where nothing is happening yet, but your brain doesn't know how it will turn out. And there's a key detail here. Your brain doesn't separate physical danger from psychological uncertainty very well. To it, I don't know what will happen can register almost the same as something is wrong. So it reacts early, not accurately. Override 1, reassurance reflex. You ask for comfort, it'll be fine. You're good, nothing will go wrong. But here's what your brain does with that. It gets a brief dopamine relief, and then it demands more. The reassurance feels safe for a few minutes. Then it fades, and you're right back to scanning for danger. Inside the brain, this is reinforcement. The amygdala learns that asking for reassurance reduces anxiety temporarily. So it repeats the cycle, again and again. And there's a detail most people don't notice here. The brain doesn't store what solved the problem. It stores what reduced the feeling. So even if nothing was actually wrong, the act of checking still gets marked as useful. That's how the loop builds itself. Next time anxiety rises, don't chase comfort. Pause. Notice the urge to check, to ask, or to confirm, and instead run this. I can't predict the outcome. And that's okay. Let the urge stay without answering it. The anxiety isn't the problem. Your response to it is keeping it alive. So when you don't complete the reassurance, the brain starts updating the pattern instead of repeating it. And that's where the loop begins to weaken. Override 2, simulation loop. Your mind starts running scenarios. What if this goes wrong? What if that happens? What if I mess this up? It feels like preparation, but it isn't. It's your brain trying to calculate every possibility of negative outcomes. Because to your brain, every unexpected outcome means potential risk. So it keeps simulating, trying to stay ahead. But here's the problem. There is no finished state to this, because the possibility of a threat never fully resolves. So the loop keeps running. And there's something important happening underneath it. The brain treats imagined scenarios similarly to real ones. So even thinking through negative outcomes can trigger the same stress response as experiencing them, which means the more you rehearse, the more real it starts to feel. Catch the loop as it starts, not 10 minutes in, at the moment you notice it, and shift your attention away from the story to the sensation. Notice the tension, the breathing, the activation. Then run this. This is my brain trying to predict everything to avoid surprise, and stop engaging the scenario. Because when you stop feeding the simulation, it loses momentum. Pattern 3, the avoidance tax. You avoid the situation, and well, you feel immediate relief. You step back, delay, stay quiet. And honestly, it feels like the right move. But your brain records something else. It logs the situation as dangerous, and the avoidance as a successful escape. So next time, the response comes faster, stronger, because your brain is now more sensitive to it, not less. And over time, your world starts shrinking. Not because things are dangerous, but because your brain has learned to treat them that way. When the urge to avoid shows up, pause before acting on it, and run this. If I leave now, I teach my brain this is dangerous. Then stay, even just briefly. Not perfectly, not comfortably, just long enough for the intensity to drop slightly, because that drop is what updates the brain. That's where it learns. This wasn't actually harmful. Pattern 4, the control grip. Sometimes it's not really the situation you're reacting to. It's actually the feeling you think it will cause. Embarrassment, disappointment, rejection. Your brain tries to get ahead of that by, triggering anxiety early, as if it can somehow protect you from the emotion itself. But anxiety doesn't prevent emotional pain. It just extends it. It makes you experience it before anything's even happened. And here's the shift. Your brain lowers its threat response when it learns that emotions are tolerable, not avoidable. When that anticipation shows up, don't push it away. Instead, try running this through your mind. I can handle feeling uncomfortable if it happens. You're not solving the future. You're teaching your brain that emotional pain isn't a threat to survival. And that really reduces the need for early anxiety. Pattern 5, control bias. Your brain wants certainty. It wants clear outcomes, predictable results. But in practice, most of life doesn't work like that. So when you tie your stability to outcomes, you end up creating constant exposure to uncertainty. And your brain reacts to that, right? Because it can't control what happens, only what you do. Shift your focus deliberately. From outcome to input, try running this. I control what I do, not how it turns out. This moves your brain away from prediction and toward action. And when your focus changes, the anxiety response reduces. Because, there's just less unknown to defend against. The moment you stop reacting automatically and start observing what's happening, your prefrontal cortex becomes active. That's the part of your brain that regulates response. It doesn't remove anxiety, but it changes how your brain interprets it, from threat to signal. Your anxiety isn't broken, it's actually miscalibrated protection. Your brain is trying to keep you safe, not disturb you, but it learned to treat uncertainty, discomfort, and unpredictability as danger. When you show it, again and again, that those things are survivable, it starts adjusting. Not instantly, but steadily. And as it does, the signal quiets down, and you stop feeling like you have to prepare for something that isn't actually there. If something in this reframes how you understand your own anxiety, your brain noticed that shift. Subscribe. We're recalibrating every week.